Hello. Hello. We're back again. And if you're curious, I have some new free-to-use music for streams that I'm going to be trying out. It's a little more hard rock and heavy metal today. As I think you're probably starting to notice. So, yeah, that's going to be the, I'm thinking for, like, Celestia, it's going to be, like, action music when we get into combat. So, yeah, we're testing it today. Hopefully it's all good. I haven't had a chance to listen. I literally just, like, grabbed it this morning. So. And I had to get it all in, so. Anyway, we have 5 archetypes left. 3 hybrids and 2 spellcasters. I want to finish off with Sorcerers and Wizards, which are very similar classes in Celestia. I also want to at least contemplate making another type of spellcaster. I want to almost call them a hybrid, but I think they need to be full casters, or at least have high magic, as it's considered in Celestia. So, yeah, I'm thinking about splitting Mystic, basically, into a class that's mostly focused on, like, spells, which is what it currently is, to another, which I'm thinking of calling Shifters. Shifters would be very similar to Mystics, but like Lunar Mystics, with the main feature being that they transform themselves. Which makes it a little bit like the Alchemist that we did last Saturday. So, yes. Obviously, there are 2 types of Mystics already, which sort of go into that. The Primal Beast Mystic and the Lunar Mystic would both work good as shifters. And there are a lot of types of Mystics. So, pulling 2 of those away from these does not feel like a bad thing. So, yeah, we're gonna look at that. Hopefully that's the case. Sorry, just making sure things were all set. Alright, so, obviously, our first step, though, is going to be to look at Sorcerers and Wizards. And we'll talk about some of the differences, because they may affect whether we create shifters or not. So, let's actually grab both pages. We'll do them both at the same time. And then come back. Alright, here are the classes. We'll grab this. Alright, you know what? I will grab all of this. Those are my notes. And we're gonna save first. Hi, War. Yes, I'm trying out some new music. I just talked about it. How are you doing? It's a little more heavy metal and hard rock. Or at least that's how it was listed. I would grab that stuff. It's taking its time and thinking about changing the page. In the meantime, let me grab the other. And we'll slot that stuff in. As well as my notes. And these notes are going to be important. It's not ringing a bell, but I'm really bad with names. So, I don't necessarily know who you're talking about, but have some head pats. Comforting head pats. Actually, no. I've never really played Destiny 2. Mostly because for a long time, like Destiny 1, you couldn't play it on PC. And I think they got bought out now by PlayStation. So, we may see it become that yet again. I did, like a long time ago. Long enough, I don't really remember too well. I know. I'm bad with my media. Oh, okay. Yeah. I do recall him. I think he's been in some other things I've seen, too, but I don't recall the details. Again, I'm really, really bad at such things. Alright, let me go back here for a sec. Alright, we gotta handle these features. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go and do the subclasses first. This is probably a better way to do this. I'll just copy over everything first, and then we'll worry about it after. Alright. Probably will never use these details in my notes, but just in case. By the way, I do really like the beat on this one. Nice fast-paced, great combat music. Which is ironic since we're now doing combat sorcerers. All of the music we're testing out today is from backing track. And I will link in chat. Oops. Wow. I tried to copy and paste on my other keyboard. That's not gonna work. There you go. That's a link to their site. No problem. I am more than happy to spread the love of free music. By the way, the ones behind it are Epos Vox from YouTube, along with some other people, I believe. I don't know who else, but yeah. Stuff for content creators. which is actually what the other music I usually use is as well. Senpai Records is the other one that I use currently. And, yeah, they're created by Harris Heller and his gang. And also music for streaming and content creation. So, I'll throw that out there for both of them. Alright. That was Healing Sorcerers. We'll go back over these once I have them in. Because we're going to have to do some tweaking, most likely. We didn't really get to too much tweaking last time. We did a little bit as we were going. So, I'm going to take a new method this time. Alright, that was Naturist. If you're curious, the differences for sorcerers is more about the types of energy that they manipulate. So, like, a psionic sorcerer deals with mental energies, and therefore mental abilities. And, like a healing sorcerer is about healing and bodily bioelectric types of energy. Combat sorcerers are a little bit different. Their focus is more on, like, combat aspects of spellcasting. So they break the mold a little bit. But... And then you have Reapers, who, are not pleasant people. In fact, I usually in Celestia limit Reapers to bad guys. Because they're basically very close to being blood sorcerers. And that gets you in a lot of trouble in Celestia. So it's very common for, like, villains to be Reapers, but... Oh, I love the name of this song, by the way. This song is called Plus Ultra, which I find hilarious. Just to lay that out there. If you've ever seen the, what's the name of the anime? Oh, I'm totally forgetting. But I'm pretty sure the catchphrase from the anime is, Plus Ultra. Yes, that one. MHA. So, I find the name very ironic. But not in a bad way. Alright, Dream Sorcerer. Almost done with sorcerer types, and then we can start digging in and moving things. Alright, one more. Word Sorcerers, which I don't think I finished. I know I started to work on them. And then I got distracted. Yes, they only have abilities up to level 10. That's fine, right? You didn't need all your abilities. Alright. There we go. They're now set. So. We want... We want all the core abilities to be given at level 1. So we need to work out what the core abilities are. I don't think Eschew Materials is a core ability. In fact, I kind of want to combine that with Conceal Spell. I think Font of Magic, though, might be something more important. Yes, that's your sorcery points. That definitely needs to be at first level. Because sorcery points are what our realignment of the class is based on. Oh, and we need to rearrange how we have this set up. Saving throws go up here with the hit points and hit dice. I remember that change. We'll pull up Mystic as a good example. Yes, saves. Oh, we have to rename them too. Constitution and Intelligence. Alright, core skills. Oops, wrong. Core skills. Technically, I should probably make you have Arcana as a sorcerer, but we're not going to do that quite yet. Let me grab the other two, though. Here we go. Tools are going to be none, so craft skills is none instead. And there's no inherent linguistic skills. Alright, so. Now, Font of Magic needs to be raised up. And Eschew Materials is going to go down. Spell Focus is the subtype, so we can get rid of that. Sorcerer subtypes. Alright, and while we're at it, let's get rid of the ability score improvements. Those aren't shown on these, as well as the other subtype ones. They aren't shown on here either. There we go. Alright, so we have most of them gone. This one too. Oh, and the epic feats are also moved to class. I mean, not class, but character level. And I'm assuming this is still from the original, so we might want to take a look at that as well. Alright, so Font of Magic, definitely part. I'm gonna say this is probably going to move down. I'm not even sure what Arcane Evolution is at the moment. In Mana Pool access, that we can probably move up a point. Because when you get close to mastery, which is level 10, you would start to get that. Meta Magic at 5, good level for that. I would kind of like to get rid of the Silent Eschew Materials and the Conceal spell for later levels. But I need to look at Arcane Evolution first. Oh, and we still haven't done Font of Magic, but we'll come back. What is Arcane Evolution? Alright. There's a system that I'm working on here. And we're gonna have to figure it in, which is actually going to replace Arcane Evolution. So. Hey, Lock On. And I'm third, huh? Who are the other two? That is my question. I want to know whose company I'm in. Alright, Silent Spell is going to move down. Alright. I have not seen a lot of Monty, but when I have time, I do look at some Matt Mercer. He's real big into his miniatures, and being a voice actor, he can really easily roll that in. Which is a great quality. I'm not quite to his level, as far as those things at least. Creativity, I think we're probably on par. Or at least I like to think so. I'm probably gonna move these around. Yeah, I like to do my world building. I'm big into the world building. You know what? Let's change this. Binding. We'll move binding down to like 12. And then leyline and node power up to 15. Move this to say 13. And then I can bump this to 11. Yeah, we're still pretty sparse. We're gonna definitely have to work on these. Alright, so we at least have those down. So there are 2 parts to the magic in Celestia that we haven't really touched on yet. So the way I envision the system is that all the true spellcasters, so our sorcerers, our wizards, and our mystics, they have a concentration pool. And that is going to be something we need to add in here. This is probably a good spot. Concentration pool. Alright, there we go. And just so we know where it is, let's throw it into each of these right here. So, what does a concentration pool let us do? So, most of you are probably familiar with 5e. In 5e, sort of one of the core mechanics, is that you can only concentrate on one thing at a time. However, anyone that has to multitask a lot knows there are ways to concentrate on more than one thing. People regularly have to do that in a lot of different things. So, one of the specialties of all the spellcasters is that they learn to concentrate on multiple things at a time. In fact, if you've ever looked at real world, like, I don't want to call it spellcraft. That makes it sound like people are going to cast spells on other people. But if you've ever looked at, like, the Golden Dawn or the other magical traditions, basically, the idea is that you focus on a spell for a long period of time. Like, shielding is usually a common part of those traditions. You learn how to sort of keep them in the back of your mind at all times. And it gets kind of instinctual to picture it at all times. And just like that, spellcasters in Celestia can focus on multiple things as they develop a talent for it. At low levels, we want to only have a small concentration pool. I think probably around 4th level, we might start to shift that. Hello, Kalina. How are you? I'm thinking maybe every 3 levels-ish, we can boost this. For now, let's try every 3 levels. Oops. I hit the wrong button. Never a good thing. At least I caught it. And we didn't have to correct a lot. I don't want to go too high with the pool. Actually, you know what? You know what? I think I might do this differently. I think we might have it... Well, now, see, here's the 2 thoughts, which are debating in my head. Do we make it int-based? So your int decides your concentration pool. And I'm thinking, like, int -5. Because in Celestia, unlike 5e, we start giving you a bonus at 2. So by 10 points, you're already at +5. If we're assuming the average person can only focus on one thing, then, well, I guess -4. Because that would put the average person as being able to focus on one spell. So, the higher your int, the more things you can focus on. But then it never builds. You know what? One way we could do it... Well, actually, let me see how high it would get if we keep doing 3s. So if we do 3s, we max at 7. You know what? I think it's gonna be pretty similar using int. So let's use int. Int bonus -4. And I'm gonna say we're gonna keep int bonus -4 until 5th level. At 5th level, we'll do -3. So you get 1 additional. And of course, as you do this, you can increase your int. So you can get a fairly high int. Here we will make it -2. So another little bonus to this. And now that we're at 15, we'll do it -1. Now, this is going to need play tested, obviously. Oh, and at 20, just pure int bonus. But there are a lot of concentration spells in Celestia. Actually, let me save this really quick. And we'll go over to spells for a second. Alright, so like first level spells. Obviously, concentration up to 1 hour, concentration up to 1 day, concentration up to 1 hour, concentration, concentration, concentration. You see a lot of that. So, because of that, you're probably always going to have some spells you're focused on. Like Arcane Barrier or Arcane Ward. Those are your 2, go-to defensive wards. You might even use both. As crazy as that sounds. But, especially if you're like a defensive spellcaster, you could pair both of them and have them always active. Well, Arcane Barrier is up to a minute, so not quite always. Arcane Ward is up to 8 hours. But, like the first thing you might do in battle is to move from just having Arcane Ward up to putting up Arcane Barrier. Counterfall, also a concentration. Glamour. Glamour is very common. Lots of people use glamours, sometimes to hide their blemishes. Like, if you have blotchy skin, maybe you will use a glamour all the time to make your skin look smooth. Heroic Aura, Jumper, Languages, Levitate Item, Mind Link, Pain Sharing, yeah. Concentration after concentration. So, yeah, if you want to use a lot of those, you're going to need to use a lot of concentration pull. And even at 2nd level, Clone Image, Crown of Madness, Earthen Grasp, Focus Healing, Growth, Holds, Invisibility, Paranoia, Recovery Zone, Reduction, Thought Detection, Truth, Wall Climb, Water Walking. Spectral Blade, by the way, is sort of a concentration spell, but there's a little difference to that. And I don't think I really show it in the rules as of yet. But it is a unique type of spell. We'll probably get to that when we start talking more about spells today. But, yeah. Let's stick to this for the moment. Oh. And since I need to look up Sorcerer... What is it called? Oh, wait. I think this is the one for it. Looks like it says Sorceress something. I'm betting it's Recovery. Once it decides to actually render the screen. Hello, roll 20. I would like to see the page. No, Sorceress Origins. Well, that's not what I want. Oh, there it is. Sorceress Restoration. You know what? We might move that out entirely. I do want, well, no. You know what? We have other methods of restoration. So, I think we're actually going to remove that altogether. Alright, so we're just going to toss that. But, let's see. If you've noticed, obviously, sorcerers use sorcery points to cast spells. They have a max level. Oh, and Celestia, because this is no longer 5e, actually has 10th level spells. 19th level, you finally get your first 10th level spell. Now, there is some other things we want to add in here. I might make this, like, sorcery point table more linear. And maybe make it use not concentration. Constitution. Because I want to add in some of the features that we see in Mystic, where their spell slots are determined by their Constitution modifier, which is like our sorcery points. And spells known is based partly on int. Oops, that's wizard. You know what? We might even remove cantrips altogether. I want to say a sorcerer in Celestia can have as many cantrips as they know. So if you learn a cantrip, it is yours. So we don't really need the cantrips field anymore. Instead, spells known. No. Let's make it active spells. So, what is the difference between active spells and spells known? For both sorcerers and wizards, you can learn any number of spells that you can put into your spellbook. Your limiting factor is how many you can have actively in your memory. So, that is why we're going to have active spells. Because those are the ones in your memory. And they definitely need to be int-based. I think it might be straight int bonus. At least initially. Because int bonus, even at 10 int, is 5. So, you would automatically know at least 5 active spells. Those active spells will include cantrips. So you can know as many cantrips as you want, but you can't use as many cantrips as you might want. So, actually, let's look at Mystic again. So they start with int modifier +2. Or think of that in reverse, and +2 plus int modifier. You know what? I think sorcerers actually might start lower. Because there's more firm limits on mystics than there are sorcerers and wizards. So them knowing a lot more spells isn't really a big issue. And they do have cantrips known as well. I might actually change that. Yeah. I think what we're going to say is that cantrips count against their spells known. So we can literally just remove this field all the way down. That does mean you could have a mystic who only knows cantrips. As crazy as that sounds, you could do it. But I think I definitely want to do that. So, especially for mystics who are going to use a lot more cantrips, I think spells known is perfectly fine. And obviously, once you get past the first few levels, there just aren't enough cantrips to be all cantrip. Not that you'd want to be. You would lose one of the better features of being a mystic. But... oop, that is wizard. We'll look at wizard in another second. But, going back to here, I think we will start maybe... what does our progression look like again? It pretty much goes one step until we get around 9th level. And then it starts being every other step. So, maybe we do 1+ int bonus. And then maybe 2+ int bonus. And then maybe 3+ int bonus. Though then there's a big gap. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8. And that would give you 9 at 10th level. So, you would have 9 active spells plus your int bonus. And if you have 18 int, that's a +9. You would have 18 spells that you can have active. That is a lot. I don't actually think most spellcasters will get anywhere near that. Yeah, most spellcasters stick to a pretty limited list, but I do want this to grow. Maybe we do it like... well, because of cantrips, too, adding into these. You might not entirely want... I don't know. This is a hard part. I'm thinking maybe every other level will give you a boost. So, 1s, 2s, 3s. That was not a 3. 4s. That would put it at 5. Then we go to 6. 7. 8. And that would put us at 9. at 19. You're definitely going to have a very high int. But 18 spells at level 20. Well, technically Celestia lets you go up to 20 for a stat. So, even with that, that is oddly 19 points, or 19 spells. So, how many actually is that? You know what? Let's look at some examples. What does the Sorcerer actually look like in 5e? I wouldn't usually use 5e as a good example for Celestia. But wow, that definitely did not go as I wanted. Wow. Sorcery points, spells known. They only get 15. So you definitely already beat, like the Sorcerer in the base book. But most subclasses they added later added further spells that you would know. So let's grab Aberrant Mind as an example. Yeah, you get 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 bonus spells you know. So, 15 I think it was? Yeah, 15 plus 11. That gives you 26 spells. Yeah. Obviously, we're below 26. And that's assuming that you do the smart thing and put a lot of points into int. So, let's alter this upwards a little bit. Let's say 15 plus int. That would give you 25. That is very close to the 5e. What would get us there, though? Let's just do straight 1 point per level. And see what that gets us. Wait, did I skip one? No. Okay. 11, 12, 13, 14. So, that would get us to 15 at level 16. So, if we go this route, where it's 1 point level, this would be 19 plus 10 for 29. I mean, we could scale it back so it gets to 15 here. If we did that, say 14 here, 14 there, say 13s. Yeah. If we start scaling off at 13, we can get to 15 here. Let's see. Let's go to 16, which would actually mean 13 here, 14 there. 15s here. So that would be scaling off at level 14. That would actually put us on parity, figuring max int bonus. I kind of like that. That's not bad. That's not bad. I kind of want to target a different number though. So let me bring up the calculator real quick. The number I want is 30. I'm thinking 30 spells is probably good. 10 of those we get from points. So we need 20 by the end. If that is the case, we still couldn't do it here without adding some more. Oh wait, miss 17. I'm like, why is that not working out? So maybe we give it a +1 here. And increase every number by 1 as we go up. Oops. Now, obviously, my Celestia games are the playtesting for the system. And we're going to start doing that fairly soon. With several different systems. Alright. Wow, that would work perfectly. That would get us 20 points max at the end. Or rather, 30 when you total everything together, so you can have 30 active spells. I think that's a very good collection. Now, I kind of want to do the same thing with your sorcery points. Those are what fuel your spells, after all. But, like the Mystic, we want to have those more based on Constitution. So your power directly is reflected in 2 scores. Alright, so... right now, everyone starts with 2. Let's see. So again, your con modifier or con bonus, figuring an average constitution of 10 would give you a +5 in Celestia. So you would automatically start higher than what you get for sorcery points. So maybe we just go con modifier. And I should probably change that to say modifier as well. Let me change those real quick. Sorry, this takes a few seconds. I just want to have all my terminology matching up, so I don't have to go back in and change things. Alright, so obviously we're starting with our con modifier. There's a big boost at 3rd level, because that's when you get 2nd level spells. So in the natural progression in 5e, which is what the numbers were based on, I actually changed every spell slot you would get into a sorcery point, with 1 sorcery point per level. And that's how I got the initial chart. That's how you get up to 96 at level 20. But if we start with a con modifier, that's at least +5. Well, we're assuming no one is crazy enough to put 8 points in con, and the way I do stats, you normally don't get below 8. So, that's at least a 4 or 5 points. And if you go heavy into con, probably not the smartest idea for a sorcerer, but con should definitely be second or third highest. So you assume at least 10 points. So with that, at least 5 points here already. I kind of want to give at least +1 at second level. Because usually you would get another sorcery or more in 5e, a spell slot for first level spell when you get to second level. So to match that, we would need at least 1 plus con modifier. So then you have third level and you get your first second level spell. But I think in our 5e chart, you also get... Oh, and you know what? Sorry. I'm pretty sure I have... No. Oh, wait. No, we do. We do, in fact, have the SRD sitting here. So we can take a look at the progression. Fighters, monks, paladins, rangers, rogues, sorcerer. Here we go. So, third level, you get 4 first level spells and 2 second. So you've gained another first level, which puts you at 4 sorcery points from that, and then 2 second level. So you actually jump to 8, what do you want to call them? Spell slot levels, which translate into 8 sorcery points, which is why it's such a big jump. Oh, that's my 5e page. Sorry. I'm getting my pages confused. We're jumping around a little bit. So, we could go... Well, maybe we'll do this first. So, if we get 8, but say 5 are based on that, that's at least a +3 that we need to add just to keep pace. So 3 plus con modifier. You get another second level spell at 4th, which means we need at least a +5 at that point. Then, at 5th level, you get third level spells, which is why we're now at 16. Which means at least 11. -5 again. 17. 21. 23. I would like to even this out more, but let's just modify it flat first. $40. That should be 46. Wow, not much at 12. minus 5, 47. Minus 5, that's 54. That would be 55. Wait, did I just type 44? Sorry. I don't know where that came from. Then 63. 64. Now a big jump for 17. Because that's when you get 9th level spells. So even with one slot of those, the number's going to jump hugely. So 78 minus 5. That is going to be a 73. That is going to be a 78. 84. And then at 20, 91. Wow. So that is just figuring 5 points for con modifier and pulling that into this formula. Yeah, you can really see how much this jumps. I'm sort of considering lowering the amount of points. I would like them to have to use outside energy more, which is most of the things they get. That's what all this ley line and node power stuff is. And mana pool access. Let me see. So, if we're just figuring 90 points as a guess, if we want to spread that out evenly over 20 levels, it's 4.5 points per level. You know what? I think we're really going to have to playtest how much. But for now, let's save this. Alright, so we have our max spell level, our concentration pool. I kind of want to move this column over here. Or maybe even over here, in front of active spells. Oh, and proficiency bonus needs to change. Proficiency bonus is not proficiency. Oh wow, I didn't even include it with the mystic. Oh, I think I took it off. Let's double check with another that I actually did that. Nope. Though I didn't fix it there either. Yeah, I didn't fix several of these. It should be competence bonus, because that is the terminology. So, let's slot that in as competence bonus. I don't even know if we need it here. It's more just to be able to reference. It's usually a character level thing. You know what? Let's just move these around. We're gonna take sorcery points and slot. No, wait, wrong one. Max spell level. Now I'm getting it wrong. Right, now max spell level is over there. I can actually just delete that. And we'll take the number. I mean, it just goes up by 2. So, pretty easy. And the numbers are actually mostly in place at certain points for us. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. And I can remove these ones over there. Ooh, a jazzy little piano number. Another good battle theme, I think. So yeah, we'll get rid of all these. Then we'll take a look. Alright, there we go. That cropped out all the things that we want to do. We should probably add in Font of Magic. And take care of that sort of thing. You know what? I also want to change the name of sorcery points. I want to call them spell points. So, let's change that really quick, too. Alright. I need to change the name here, too. You have a limited pool of spell points starting off, and you gain more as you reach higher levels. You have spell points equal to your... Well, that's not true. Let's get rid of that. You can never have more spell points than your level allows. True. You can never have more spell points than your maximum spell points for your level. That is more accurate. You gain all spent sorcery points when you finish a long rest. Also true. Actually, you know what? I might change that. This part right here. That you regain all spent sorcery points when you finish a long rest. I know that's a 5e thing. And I think a lot of other systems do it too. I might actually let you use hit dice. So like, when you regain, like, HP, using hit dice during a short rest, you could do the same thing to recover sorcery points. But for now, I don't think I'm gonna change that here. Alright, flexible casting isn't a thing anymore. That is true, though. There's no spell slots. And yeah, I do want to grab some other text as well from Arcane Evolution. Active spells and learning spells. That is probably what we should call this. Additionally, you keep a book of arcane spells similar to a wizard's spellbook. You add all the spells in your spell repertoire to this book for free. You can learn spells and add them to this book, not free. And you can add additional arcane spells to the book. Okay, I'm not even gonna include that at all. During your daily preparations, you can remind yourself of any spell in your spell book. These spells are considered your active spells. And spells not in your active spells list, you cannot use without looking them up. I'm probably not going to describe yet what that actually involves, but I'm going to put it in here, and we'll expand that later. We don't have to explain it all right this second. I probably should have also talked about concentration pool. So actually, let's do that as well. Concentration pool. Which, if I can manage not to typo, is gonna be good. Many spells require a level of concentration to maintain. These spells require using your concentration pool. Which develops as you develop within the class. Yeah, I think I like how that works. You cannot maintain more concentration spells above the amount of your concentration pool. Adding a new concentration spell when your pool is filled will knock the oldest spells out of your concentration. You know what? I think that's all we have to say. So to make room for a new one, we automatically kick the oldest one. Or some spells, especially later spells, we'll get into doing more tricks with the concentration pool as we get to higher level spells that we're working on. Some of those will actually be like 2 or more points of concentration. Because they're very complex spells, so they require a larger amount of focus. Obviously, you can't have too many, but the pool is much bigger than what it would be in 5e. I mean, 5e is a flat 1 spell limit with a couple of fudges here and there to do 2 spells. Alright. I really don't think I even need to type too much for this. You can ignore the requirement for materials when casting spells. When casting almost all spells. I'm gonna have some exceptions in there. There are a few spells that innately require materials. You may choose to still use materials for spells to increase the spell's power. Basically, they're going to work as a focus outside of a few particular ones. And we'll get into that more when we get into later spells. Silent spell. You can ignore the requirement to chant or say phrases when casting spells. When casting almost all spells. You may choose to use the semantic components of a spell to improve your focus. I'm sure that's... Oh, semantic isn't actually a word in a regular dictionary. Luckily for us, we're not using a regular dictionary. Alright, conceal spell. You can ignore the requirement to form patterns or wave your hands to direct the flow of energy when casting almost all spells. And just like before, when we talk about this, you may choose to still make gestures to improve your focus. Those are going to be some very common things that you'll see as we start to build these. Wait. Did I... Oh, I had more to it. We'll probably change that. You know what? I'm not even going to include that. I don't see a point, really. So, let's get rid of instinctive concealment. Obviously, I still do need to figure something out for this. But we'll work on it. We'll work on it. Meta magic, big category. And I'm definitely pulling everything from here. I have a very big list of things for meta magic. Because in Celestia, all sorcerers, at least, can augment spells as they cast. You know what? I'm not even gonna carry those over. Those are just my notes. And most of them link to things that don't exist. But yeah, you can increase range, remove the requirements for verbal, somatic, or material components. Increase the spell power. Change the casting speed. This is something I'm definitely going to have to edit. There's no bonus action economy in Celestia. So, there's an action pool instead. Which is, at least currently, I'm looking at it being a 4-section action pool. And casting any spell is at least one action. A spell casting action. Or just casting action. But I might include this just to make things be able to become reactions. I might call it reactive casting. That sounds reasonable. You know what? We are on this tab. Let's go and just edit that now. So, change this. Reactive casting. You can adjust the speed of a spell, making a spell that is usually in action into a reaction. I don't think we need vice versa. Yeah, there aren't really a lot of spells that are reactions so far. I don't think you'd really do it the other way around. So, with that in mind, I think we're gonna change that. But that is a very good use. That way you can fire like a fireball off of your turn. I kind of like the ability to do that. So, like, say the enemy starts to move in like a gathering of troops, and you have a really good shot, but it isn't your turn yet. You can use reactive casting to spend an extra sorcery point and cast the spell outside your turn. I might put more limits on this, but we won't do that yet. I might make it more expensive for AoEs, because I think it might be more common for AoEs. In fact, let's do that now. Reactive casting. There we go. Yes, it kind of makes it into, like, legendary casting, like bosses sometimes have. But for the players, which I kind of like, Celestia is going to have a much more robust reactive system. you can use as many reactions as you have actions in your pool. So if you really wanted it to be entirely defensive, you could act on everyone else's turns, and not at all on your own. But I don't know if you'd really want to do that too much. You would probably want to spend maybe 1 or 2 to do that. And reactive casting is going to also run up against the fact that during your turn, you only get to cast 1 spell. Usually. I can immediately see, like, Boca using reactive casting and then Spell Twin to cast, like, double fireballs. Yeah. I was always planning to use a, like, action pool system instead of, like, the way 5e does it with actions, bonus actions, and reactions. And only 1 of each. I wanted to mix things up a lot more. And sometime we'll get back to looking at some of the details of that. I have, like, an entire list of things and talking about how much they use. Some spells are also going to cost more than 1 action to cast. But for now, most of the ones that we have access to are single action. I think when we got to, like, I think our first 4th level spells, yeah, like hallucinatory terrain takes 2 actions, as does Phantasmal Assassin and Curse Cure. Those all take 2 actions. But I think those are the first spells that do. So, some spells, the more complicated they get, the more it takes. So, that's going to add another feature for spellcasters to worry about. So, obviously, blaster types might want to vary the types of cost of their spells. But yeah, widen it so you can have a bigger AoE. Hasn't really come up yet. Boca has not wanted to do that so far. I don't even know if Boca remembers this list most of the times when she's a Koba. So, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, changing the damage type. So, ice fireballs and cones of fire. Spell additions, adding effects like concussive force to a spell. Also another one that not too many people have played with yet. Spell duration, combined spells. Most combined spells are already, like, listed, but combined spell lets you take 1 spell that is direct attack and 1 spell that is targeted attack and combine them together into 1 cast. The obvious example of this is actually an existing spell. It's called Ice Knife in 5e, but I think it's, yeah, Icy Burst. I knew it was in here. Which is a combination attack. So it has the direct target and the targeted attack. Or direct attack and targeted attack. Sorry. But yeah, you can do this with any spells. This one is just already combined. As an example, basically. Sorry, had to sneeze. Also, selective spell. I think Boca may want to start learning to do this. There's been several times where Akoba launches off fireballs when, like, other people in the party are right next to it. I'll remind her that this list exists. And, yeah. Definitely something she might want to start investing some points in. Okay. Innate counter spell. So one of the big features of Sorcerers in Celestia is that they directly can edit spells, which also means they can try to take their opponent's spell apart by countering it through different means. So they get the equivalent of the counter spell as a reaction. So you can do it, like, if Boca wanted to focus on counterspelling a group of enemies, she could spend literally all her time pushing points out to counter every spell they make. Yeah. And once we do the action pool, she could do it up to 4 times. And since they can't individually cast more than one spell at a time, that is a useful stance. If you want to just protect your group from enemy spellcasters, you could do it. You could totally do it. And it's not considered casting a spell. So, it actually doesn't count against the spells you can cast in a turn. Yes. Well, I don't mind it so much. Boca, using the limits of one reaction in 5e, we've already had innate counterspell with Akoba. Boca tends to forget to use it, and everyone just gets blasted. So, yeah, I would like to actually see it more, and I want to add in, especially now that they're more powerful, a lot more spellcasting enemies, making it more important. If you watched the last Celestia session last weekend, there was a Lich, and the Lich totally slammed everyone. Boca could have used innate counterspell, but I think she was saving her points for something else. So, that didn't happen. And that spell could have been everyone's doom. Very easily. Very easily. I mean, I almost killed 2 players. So, yeah. They're gonna get stuff thrown at them much more. Alright, mana pool access. Mana pools are the first way for spellcasters to create, like, a reserve. Well, Lich will be back. Probably. Probably. If not that one, then, don't tell Boca. Don't tell Boca. But, the next dungeon is coming up very soon. Very soon. Probably much sooner than they think. I actually need to work on it tomorrow. Because that's how close it is. I started working on it, and I just haven't finished working on it. But at least the initial parts of the dungeon should be ready very soon. And it's gonna have a lot of spellcasters in it. Because it is actually the extra-dimensional working space of a Lich. And if they thought the other Lich was bad, the new Lich, the one that is the mastermind behind it, is a much higher CR. That was a rather weak Lich last time. So, yes. Some things are going to happen, definitely. Anyway, mana pools. So, a mana pool lets a spellcaster put some of their spell points into a reserve that they build up. The points wear off eventually, but as long as they're around wherever they create the pool, like say they form a lair, or you know how the group originally had a hideout. You could invest mana into a pool, only you could access it for someone you gave the proverbial keys to, and then you could draw on it as long as you're close by. And hey, Sun Eater. So, this is the first way to, expand the number of spell points that you get. Because you can basically trade them over from days you're not really casting a lot of spells to days you are casting spells. But I'm doing pretty good. I think today's been kind of fun so far. And we're listening to new music, which is also a plus. Alright, ley lines are next. I kind of want to move that down a slot. But for now, we'll just copy it. Whoops. Here we go. I made this easier. I made it just one. Oh, fun. I've never finished a Pokemon game. My 3DS stopped working. So, I stopped playing. And it's the only system I've had that could play a Pokemon game. Literally, the only Nintendo system... Well, I owned a GameCube. But I only had, 2 games on it. I won it in a contest. So, yeah. But, oh, and that gives us all of those. Binding Places of Power is the only other one. But yeah, my 3DS was the only system I ever had that could play a Pokemon game. Because they were always mobile before that. Well, before now. Because they only make one system now. But yeah, there was no Pokemon for GameCube. So, between those being my only Nintendo systems, I never really played a lot of Pokemon. Yeah, I heard that, which actually is kind of sad. I do still have the cartridges for all my old ones. So, theoretically, I could still play them. Figuring I bought something that could pull the data off of them. I think there are some that can pull 3DS cartridges. But yeah, right here, next to me, is actually Pokemon White version. Next to Fire Emblem Awakening, which I have never finished either. And yeah, I figure there are emulators, but I I don't have any device currently to be able to pull the data and then emulate them. So, also, legality of doing that. I mean, technically I have a 3DS paperweight, since it doesn't really work. But, technically I own the system, so... Yeah, I only started to play, actually, when, X and Y came out. I had to look up the very dusty cases. But, when it came out, I knew some people that were playing it, and they all convinced me I should buy a 3DS. I would need to own a system that could play Pokemon Infinite Fusion. Twitch is, not good with emulators, so I can't really stream too many emulated games. If I were bigger, I could probably get away with it. Oh, it's a fan game. That's actually even trickier. Nintendo is really, really aggressive. And they don't, like, fan anything, basically. I think all these should be good, because they don't have, like, a list to go with them. So, yeah. Let's leave this as is. We're gonna need it as an example, though, because we gotta get into, our wizard now. Some of these things we can change again. Our saves are still the same, but, oops. Yes, it would help to have the V. Let's go up here. Let's just grab all those. Lucky them. I don't really want to take the chance. I don't know if you guys remember it, but a couple of years ago, like, Nintendo started shutting down everyone's streams that was playing something that had already gone live in Australia. But the release date was later in the day for Europe and the US. Oh, as far as why I'm doing this, really, Celestia was always a custom campaign setting anyways, so moving it to be its own system entirely is, like, not that much of a stretch. While I'm doing that, let me slap these in. I think it's the same list, though. But yeah, when Wizards of the Coast started going insane back in January, it was looking like I might have to take the system entirely down, and take out everything that related to 5e. Which is time-consuming, and basically making my own system anyway. So, yeah, when they were looking like they might just take everything everyone does anyways, I decided to break off and make something that was not 5e, but has enough in common with 5e, most people could go, well, yeah, I know 5e. I can definitely see how that works. And yeah, I mean, everyone started doing that. Kobold Press did the Black Flag project. I know the Dungeon Coach is making his own system. I forget what he calls it. But yeah, a lot of people start doing the same thing. But I'm kind of halfway there because I was just using the rules, the core rules from 5e, and all the classes and everything were already my takes. So, yeah, there wasn't a lot I carried over. I mean, obviously the names in some places. Like, wizards are still wizards. But, if you do look, most of the archetypes do not look like they came from 5e. I mean, Destroyer, Lancer, Slayer, Spellblade, Sage, Brawler, Alchemist, Artificer, which is the first one that is a 5e name, then Sorcerer, Wizard, and Mystic. For 2 more. Yes. We all had to start considering it. So, yeah. So, Wizard is gonna be a little bit harder. I'm gonna actually have to do some work to make up like a spell slot list. I want wizards to still have spell slots. I want to have different types of spell casting built into this. We have sorcerers who are only spell points, so they can cast any number of spells of any level. Very flexible. In fact, sorcerers are really about flexibility. Wizards are more about focus. So, we can get rid of proficiency bonus. And you know what? I might just clip proficiency bonus right out. This is going to be a little bit backwards from how we did the other list. Because the first thing is going to be features. Which is definitely not how we did the other one. And all the spell stuff comes after. Oh, and while I'm at it, let's just get rid of those. I'll put a little marker in place. Alright. Let's get rid of the school features. They are also something we take out. Alright. That. This. Oh, both of those. And that. Okay. We still have to pull a couple of other things. The ability score improvements, the school features. Those actually do not appear on here. Alright, yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, let's save that. So now we have, oh, that definitely, I messed up at the end there. Let me fix that. Yeah, we left in this. So let's pop that out. Now it should look like a table. Alright. I kind of want to get rid of spells known. Though it's also sorcery points. Wizards will get spell points too. And they're gonna have a lot of the features that, like... How do I want to put it? Wizards gonna get a lot of the features that 5e sorcerers do. So they can trade between spell points. Because they still get access to ley lines, mana pools, all the other forms of outside yourself energy. So, what we want is to give them some spell points. Not a lot, but some. We'll get rid of the cantrips category, definitely. Because it's also going to be that... Well, you know what? Because they're prepared spellcasters. What I might do is... I might leave cantrips alone. I definitely need to change these, though. Spell points. Spell points also should be Constitution focused, if you want to call them that. I actually also need a spell chart. Kind of like... Well, I don't do it for Mystics anymore. I used to have a spell chart for Mystics. I think I still do have a chart, though, under High Magic Spellcasting. Yes, I could steal this chart. In fact, I might. Actually, no. This chart only has 9th level spells. Which obviously I can add 10th level spells to this. That is not that hard. You know what? I will. We're just gonna slot 10th level spells on the end of this chart. I will need another one of these. Alright. One of those. Oops. Ah. Oh, wait. Did I do it too early? Yeah, I think that's correct. Alright, I'm going to take the spell level off of here. We won't need that in the new chart. It's already going to have it. So, just take that. We might need to update this chart at some point. But wizards are going to be the more rigid spellcasters of the two. Or 3, technically. Alright, now that I have this, let's go and grab it and slot it in. Wow, that is going to make this a very big list. Alright, do that to the next one. Another one down. Uh-oh. I forgot, I have a... Yeah. I have a cap on the end already, so that's giving us a duplication. let's cut that off. Actually, you know what? We'll just cut that from all of these. There we go. So what level are we on? 3. Alright. We're going to make a very big chart here. I may definitely change these numbers at some point. These are more placeholders. Knife. Uh, 12. Oh, I need another row as well. Oh boy, this is gonna be a very big table. A very big table. It's gonna look fairly nice, but it's gonna be huge. Because just like our sorcerer, they also need concentration pull on here. So we're gonna have to add that as well. Alright, we're almost done. We're almost done making a table. Alright, so. That done, we can hop back over here. And we're gonna pull the concentration pull from here. Alright, we want that probably before cantrips, actually. We already know that, well, that should say a modifier. We already know int modifier is the fields. Oops, let me grab that all. And I'm just gonna put these straight down through here. Is the first thing after the features. I know this is probably the least interesting part of this, but it shouldn't take too long. I just gotta get to the right spots. Yep. Oh, that's another school feature. We can nuke that. Nuke that. And unlike our sorcerers, they definitely get a lot more abilities. So we're gonna have to play around with those as well. Alright. 2 more. 1 more. There we go. Alright, let's check. Alright, that looks good. That looks good. You see your concentration pool, your cantrips. Though 4 cantrips at first level is wrong. I mean, that is hilarious. Why you would go from 4 to 2 is very hilarious. But let's fix that. Also, I can get rid of magic sense. Shoe materials should be level 2. Which would push silent spells to 3. Conceal spells to 4. I'm gonna get rid of sea magic. Did they have font of power just like the other class? If so, that definitely probably shouldn't be that way. Alright, since we pushed it back, cantrip formulas should probably go at 5. And I'm gonna say font of power is not gonna be what goes at first level. I'm assuming it is actually the same thing here, though. Oh, it is slightly different. It is font of power, not font of magic. So I guess we can stick most of our notes in here. Alright, oh, we also have to go and edit these to 3s. And 2s. And unlike any other one of the spellcasters, they don't need any con. That's a 1. I mean, obviously, con, good idea for a wizard. But there we go. So we look. We're looking pretty good. Cantrip formulas have gone down. Long range senses should be kicked probably to 12. That definitely needs to be moved as well. Because I got rid of it on the other ones. I should get rid of it here. Where is the range one? We don't need enhanced magic sense either. Oh, there it is. Long range. Alright, that lets us drop that in at 12. Put a marker there. Alright. Well, the reason for, like, sorcerers and mystics to need con as part of, like, their bonus is they're pushing their body or more energy through their body. Wizards still need con to make, like, constitution saves at particular times. But they do actually get, of all things, saves in constitution and intelligence. So, they're well prepared for that. Mostly. I actually might change this. I don't remember what they get saving throw-wise in 5e. So, I may change that. But yeah, because they don't gain, like, spell slots based on con, the way spell points are something that sorcerers get, or more spell slots for mystics. Because if you look at mystics, they do get more spell slots the higher their con. They get more spells known with more int. And I should probably call that active spells. I need concentration pool in here too. You know what? I might just grab that now. Before I forget again. Alright. Spells known, spell slots. Let's put concentration pool here. Oh, wait, no. Actually, yes. Yes, I think I want it there. Hang on. Alright. Spell slot is there. We will break up the numbers. Alright, there we go. I think that one. Alright. Alright, let's really quick change that. You are -3. No, wait, -1. 2. Oh, that is actually a 3. 3, 3, 3, 3? Oh no, this should be a 2. I'm off. There we go. Alright, now all the primary spellcasting classes have concentration pools. And so do they. So let's take a look at this game. Obviously, Font of Power is going to talk about a lot of our, like, switching spells, and I mean spell slots, and spell points. And they do get spell points off the bat. Though they probably can't really use them for much, since they don't get meta magic. Their spellcasting is too rigid. But I can steal some of the stuff that I did for Font of Power. I mean, not font of power. Font of magic. Alright, spell points. Also, spell points. And again, spell points. Spell points. We have a spell point maximum equal to the listing for your archetype level. You can never have more spell points than your... Oops, I have 2 S's. Than your maximum spell points allows. You regain all spent spell points when you finish a long rest. Flexible casting. You can use your spell points to gain additional spell slots, or sacrifice spell slots to gain additional spell points. I'm not even gonna go into that. Casting spells with spell points. You know what? That should really belong up above. So let's slap this in here. Each spell point is worth 1 spell level. So a 3rd level spell slot. Spell costs 3 spell points. And a 3rd level spell slot can provide 3 spell points. Alright. There we go. Creating sorcery points. I think we just talked about that, so I don't think we need that part. Alright. Obviously, I don't want to save any of what I just typed, because I'm not on the right page for it. But now I can swap it over in here. Alright, there we go. Please save. Don't leave me hanging. That's the only sad part about doing this online. Sometimes I'm just sitting here, waiting for the website to respond. Waiting and waiting. While I'm waiting, let's, oh wow. Obviously, it's, not stopping anything else. And I don't want to hit the button again. I just kind of need to wait for it. But, let me slap that down there, just in case. Oh, did the page finally finish? It did. Hell yeah. Alright, now I can get rid of this. It's very nice to have things online. You can just reference them any old time. But, there are some downsides. No PTSD here. No. Let's jump back. Cantrip formulas. Which basically just lets you swap out cantrips. And you can do that as long as you have you can only have whatever the cantrips listed is at, like, any particular day. But if, say, let's see, say you were 5th level, so you have cantrip formulas. That means you can only have 3 cantrips active. So, with 3 cantrips, you maybe want Mage Hand and a couple of attack cantrips. But maybe, something comes up and you want Thaumaturgy. So you take out one of the attack cantrips and you slot that in instead. Or, in particular, maybe you want the shield cantrip, which is probably the best cantrip to have if you're a spellcaster. Yeah, it's gonna be really easy for spellcasters to, eat up all of their reactions and have nothing left. Oh, spell blending. I don't even remember what the feature does, so let's go take a look. Spell blending. Oh, this lets you give up lower level slots for more higher level slots. Very useful, though also very expensive. But if you don't like a lot of, say, 1st level spell slots, you could definitely use this to get up to an extra 3rd level spell slot. Trading 2 1st level spells for 1 3rd could be useful, maybe. Or, let's see. The highest level you can do that with is to trade all of your 7th level spells for 1 9th level spell slot. I'm not sure it'd be worth getting rid of all your 7th level spells. But theoretically you could do that. I mean, maybe there's some particular circumstance where you want 2 9th level spells. I could probably see that. And even then, you could only do that at 20th level. But, yeah. Not a horrible option if you needed a higher level slot for something. Maybe there's a particular spell that you need to have on hand for some aspect of the adventure. Oh, and the next one, the long range sense. That. Oh, did I not? Oh, I literally erased what gives you that. If that's the case, I probably should not carry it over. I guess we'll get rid of the 12th level spell ability. Or wizard ability. Re-prepare spell. What do we get for that? Okay, that sounds decent. I mean, you sort of get to do that using spell points anyways. So not too strange there. And... no, that's Sorcerer. I think I accidentally got rid of the wizard page. Spell combination. Alright. I think that's a lot like twinning spells. Oh, yeah, you link 2 slots, so you can cast both spells at once. I remember. Also, a very neat trick. I want to change these, though. Which is actually why I have this list here. Yeah. Alright. Let's work on the subtypes. I do not use the subtypes that 5e has. Well, I don't even use, like, there's no difference between an enchantment spell and a divination spell in Celestia. They're just sometimes referenced as, like, an illusion spell, but there's no, like, schools of magic, per se, like there is in 5e. So, let's get rid of all these. Some of these I'm going to keep. It's an alchemist wizard now. Charms wizard. Oh, this is some great music. It's all spooky. Spooky! And then it picks up. Universalist. Diviner wizard. Enchanter wizard. Oops. What's after enchanter? Evoker. Healer wizard. Illusionist wizard. Necromancer wizard. I probably shouldn't even include necromancer. It just has that, like, suspense aspect. I like that. Definitely good battle music. You know, when the boss is about to put the beat down on you. Apparently this song is called Rampancy. I'm not sure if that fits or not, but... Alright. So, necromancer wizards. How do I want to put this? Those that deal with dead in Celestia are usually blood mages. In fact, the most common type of blood mage is actually a necromancer. They're the ones that try to bring corpses back by animating them. They created the zombie plagues. They created ghouls. They're directly linked with the goddess Nessa. I don't think I've ever explained this story per se. Well, I think I did once or twice in Celestia, but it's been a while. Let me bring up the deities of Celestia. So, there are two pantheons in Celestia. There's the Pantheon of the Wheel, that believe in reincarnation and recycling of souls. They're usually considered the gods of good, though several are very neutral. Like the Raven Queen Karasu. She is the goddess of death, but she is seen as the guide of souls into their new form. And like Tyr is the god of justice and defense. But he is impartial in most cases, seeking the truth rather than, like, lies. So here's where this gets a little crazy. So you have then the Pantheon of Corruption. These gods, outside of a few places, or as like cultists, you don't find them worshipped. They mostly got pushed back. And now almost all major nations outlaw worshipping the Pantheon of Corruption. And of those is Kessa, the Lady of Decay. She had a consort who was killed during the War of the Gods. And now, in her attempts to repair the damage done to him, she has ended up creating every type of undead creature there is, including death knights and liches. I never got all the way through ReZero, so I can't say. But Kessa, actually, Deckard in the main Celestia campaign is an agent of Kessa. In fact, last episode, Kessa contacted him and had him pick up the bow. Because she obviously wants it to go somewhere. Maybe to him, maybe not. But, yeah, Deckard has become her agent. He is an undead Nephilim, so, he's got a little touch of her influence anyway. But, yeah. Because Kessa is the original necromancer, and worship of hers is pushed back, and undead are a big, big plague that has affected the lands. Necromancers are not seen as useful. But, yeah. It used to be that in Celestia Arcane Academy, Rowena was actually classed as a necromantic wizard. That is going to go away. She is now a healer wizard. In fact, I should start porting some of these over while I'm thinking of them. But yeah, she was a necromancy wizard. Now she will be a healing wizard. Yeah. Yes, necromancers definitely exist, but as a playable character, they would have some issues. Mostly because every time they tried to create any sort of undead, which is, the focus of their abilities, everyone would be after them. The city guard, any, lawful sort of creature. Their own party probably not happy with them. So, yes, big issues. Big issues. You know what? Let's do divination. That's a quick one. Diviner wizard. Yeah. I mean, you could totally play one. It would just be very hard. Very hard. Is this... No. Alright, this... I need to carry over, but... I want to make it part of the GM part. I've already done the list, so let's slap this here. Stick that there. Alright, enchantment wizard. I don't think I have anything close to the enchantment wizard in the new classes. Enchantment wizards were all about mesmerizing the enemy. Maybe I'll come up with one. But in the new breakdown for wizard, it is not a recognized, classification. Alright, alchemy wizard. That does follow over as is. Oh, wait, there's a charms wizard. Well, duh. I don't need you anymore. Become my charms wizard. Oh, actually, wait. We're talking about different sorts of charms. Actually, kill both pages. Kill both pages. Alright, I'm definitely gonna have to work on that. That was Alchemy Wizard. What was the next one? Universalist. Okay. Enchanter Wizard is actually about making items. I think Illusionist might be the next. Oh, Evoker too. I can definitely do that. Hello, website. I would like to edit you. Well, while you're thinking, let's open up this one, which worked just fine. Go figure. Go figure. Let's plop Evoker on here. Well, I'm halfway there. Did you ever open? No. Alright, reload the page. Try this again. Alright, now I can do Illusionist. Alright, that leaves us Evoker. Grab the page there. Plop this in. I'm definitely gonna have to go through these. They're gonna need some tweaks. So, Summoner. That's our Conjuration Wizard, mostly. You know what? There's almost nothing from Conjuration Wizard that belongs in a Summoner. The only thing is durable summons. The only thing. Everything else doesn't really go in a Summoner. I might need to split them up. What else do we have? Transmuter. I can do a Transmuter. Yeah, there's some parts of that I don't really like for our Transmuter. But let's do it. Alright, that leaves Charms, Enchanter, Necromancer, and Summoner. Alright, which ones have we not done? Conjuration, Abjuration. I already did Enchantment. Necromancer we did. Arcanist. Alright, so those are the ones that we need to add as GM ones. And we'll come back to those. Not right this moment. Hey, Conver, how you doing? Alright, so Conjuration Wizard. Grab these. duration. That's our defensive. You're doing goo? I don't know. Is goo a state? I mean, unless you're like a slime. Slimes are goo. I figured that's what you meant, but I had to tease you. I had to tease you. Totally required. I know someone who plays a slime. Actually, I know two. In Celestia, there is actually a where is it? I have too many pages open. There's actually a slime, or rather blob, ancestry. That's actually what the Olin character played by Lime is a blob ancestry. Oh, I still have that page open. I should totally save that. Alright. There's probably a few things still missing, but Wizard is basically done. We still need a few subtypes. I mean, blobs are a little bit weird. But I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, they don't even have genders, so... Alright, but I think that is probably it for Sorcerers and Wizards. We also touched on Mystic. So, 2 more done. And now, I think I can safely say we have the core magic classes done. Spellblades or arcane paladins. We still need to do sages, which are the equivalent of like intelligence bards, and artificer. You know, we might have time to do artificer. I think that can go kind of quick. So, let us grab artificers. Alright, artificer subtypes. We can remove a handful of things which no longer apply. Oops. Ability scores mostly, and the specialty features. That's probably going to move to 8. That way they get extra attack here. They lose that, but they gain combat gadgets. that should be competence. There we go. Saves. Wow, I did concentration intelligence on a lot of different classes. Let's pull up probably Mystic. Mystic is comfortable. And grab this list from that. So tools, and that is craft skills. Linguistics is none. Here is our core skills. There we go. I think that pretty much is what we need for here. Obviously, they have lost a lot of abilities. Invention. Invention is a really big page. So. And I'll slap the notes in here as well. Obviously, I'm gonna have to add these at some time, but not right now. Then create magic item. Oh. I really need to update this list. I actually think I have a better page in here. What did I call it, though? Oh, I have a page called Creating Magic Items. Hopefully that is actually what I want. Yes, it is the updated page. Good, good. Alright. So, now we have this. Those are our core abilities. Followed by Combat Gadget. And I actually like the way my artificers work compared to the ones in 5e. Mine don't get spells. They can create gadgets, which I get at 2nd level. And I'm gonna keep my notes just in case I need something. So they collect a bunch of gadgets that they can use. I like the feel of that so much better. Tool expertise. I think I changed the name for expertise. But for now, I'll use that term. I'll have to go back in and fix it, but I can eventually do that. Not too hard. It's a 1 cent ability, so. Alright. I'm probably gonna have to edit that as well. Cooperative work. Special gadgets. Oh, actually, since this has special characters, let's go into it and grab it raw. Customized gadgets. Wow. There are some big holes in here now. Now that I've stripped out any things that carry over to multiple classes. Like when you get feats. In fact, we really need to probably work on feats next time. I think it's time. There are still some classes to work on. We're converting classes to archetypes, but for the most part, I think the next thing probably is feats, which are called traits. And I think that's it for that. So, all good. We're looking very solid now. We need the subtypes. Which is going to require a little bit more work. There are a few things we're going to have to copy. Plop that down. Swoosh onto the next one. Because even more than the armor artificer in 5e, with all these options, you are totally Iron Man when you play these in Celestia. Scaling gear, plopping on a stunner, putting in a diving system, defensive fields, dampening fields, collapsible armor function, lightning launcher, thunder gauntlets, device celerity, electrifying armor, powered flight. Explosive leap, too. Power strike. Totally Iron Man. But fantasy Iron Man. Alright, artillerist. You can tell some of these were definitely designed based on looking at 5e stuff, but none of them function anything like their 5e counterpart. There are a few things that are kind of like that. Give me 1 sec. I don't know if I have them listed yet. I know in the 5e stuff, a lot of that gets into it. Like, I think it's under invention. You get into things like targeting harnesses, alchemical power cells, magnetic deflection harnesses. There is actually plasma swords, boom hammers, fire spitters, arc rifles, concussive rifles, chainsaws. But, yeah, for the most part, they would use a combat gadget to fill the role of, magic absorption. In fact, they can make a combat gadget that mirrors the counterspell spell. Obviously, at a fixed level, though. The Golem one, the Battlesmith. Slap that in. There is actually a Battlesmith in Celestia. I forget the character's name. It's played by Ursia. Or they are played by Ursia. Oh, weird. I don't even have that here. Thought I had that here. But Battlesmiths get 2 pets. They get a homunculus and then their servant, and they can do summons to have tons of pets that they control on their turn. So, they're an interesting type. Kind of like a summoner, depending on how you want to play them. Obviously, the one Ursia plays is totally a summoner. Oh, I should definitely fill that in. I'll do that later, though. Archivist is the last type, or Archivist. Archivists are really cool. I don't know how many people have watched the anime Read or Die, but they take a lot of their abilities from Read or Die. They get ink and paper abilities. They can make paper armor, wield paper weapons, make paper golems. Oh, actually, I should go back to that for a sec. I think they're one of the most interesting, untouched as of yet classes. Of course, the only thing is, if it gets wet, or if, it, like, takes damage from, like, fire, they lose some strength. So you have to grab more paper. Indefinitely. You always need more paper. Ironically, in a world that doesn't have a lot of paper, that's probably less strong. But if you ever need to fight in a library, being an archivist artificer is very fun. Alright, and I think that's everything for the Artificer. At least for now. We can close Mystic. 2 classes left, or archetypes. I can close that. There we go. Actually, there's another anime that's not Read or Die that used papermancy. It was in my favorites, which is, well, one of my favorites. I think I'd have to log into it. Give me 1 sec. I want to make sure I don't need to log into the site. Let's see. Yeah, I need to log in. No offense to you guys, but I would rather you not get to see me log in to my anime list. Is it bookshelf? I think they've changed this a little. Oh, no. Wow, how far down did I put it? Wait, that can't be right. Did they remove some of these? Oh, they're not in order. That totally is why. Please put them in order. That would make it so much easier for me to find it. Because Railgun is definitely... Oh, yes. I know that is not the English name. A certain scientific railgun. Yes. No. In fact, I do have some 10s. Like, decent number of 10s. Like, every season of Jahia Fira. Haiku's on there at a 10. Macross 0 is a 10. More haiku. I really liked haiku, if you can't tell. Hikaru no Go is a 9. Macross Plus is a 9. Macross F is a 9. Saki, which most people have probably never even seen, is a 9. Then there's my railgun. Oh, if you've never seen it, 0 is one of my favorites of the Macross. Saki is actually about girls who play mahjong. It taught me mahjong, which I totally don't remember anymore. But if a show can teach me how to play a game, I think it deserves a very high score. Obviously, some initial D, especially the later parts where it was getting pretty good. Log Horizon, School Rumble, Zapang, which is another one most people have probably never seen. It was about a World War II Japanese destroyer that gets sent back. Well, no, and not a Japanese World War II destroyer, a modern, like, missile destroyer from Japan that gets sent back to World War II. And they try to stay out of World War II. But it's a little bit difficult. Especially when they're, right next to Japan. But no one knows what to make out of a modern missile destroyer. Oh wow, they list Ghost in the Shell by its Japanese name. Angelic Lair, if you've never watched that, I love Angelic Lair. Beck, Frozen Maiden, Junai Kokopi, which is really depressing, by the way. It gets really depressing at times. Still a good series. I also liked Tenjo Tenji, even though it's got a lot of fan service. Tsubasa Chronicle, more Initial D. Full Metal Panic is on here. Oh, there's Read or Die. And the TV series. Ranma 1/2. Genshiken. Advent Children. Fantastic Children. Gits. Oh, Air Gear. Yukikazi. Yeah, I used to be part of a club that was called a Genshiken Club. Technically before the series came out. It was done by my uncle. And yeah, he collected anime when you couldn't really get like a lot of it legally. He collected it from the internet, and we would gather together in a club in a like anime specialty store, I guess is the best way to put it. And yeah, we sat around, we watched anime, we talked about manga. It was cool. More Macross. K-On. Usagi Drop. Fruits Basket. Oh, World Trigger. I'm still actually following the manga for that. And a bunch of more. I mean, we're just now getting to 7s. So, yeah. But there's still stuff on there. A lot of it's older stuff. I really dug back in, trying to remember. Oh, here's Full Metal Panic. It's a 7, so it's a little bit down. But it's still on par with Chobits and Appleseed, the movie. It got a little weird later on, but my Jaime was pretty cool too. I still remember it fondly. But yeah, totally off track now. But, have been talking for almost 4 hours. So, I know I've watched it. I didn't actually list anything really that was under a 5 for me. So, if I didn't consider it at least a 5, I just didn't add it to my list. I felt that was easier than having to list all the ones that I thought were not good. But, since we've been going a long time, and I need to make dinner, let's find someone to raid. Oh, oh. I think I know what we need to do. There are a few people I'd like to raid, but Kabachi is having her birthday. So, I think what we're gonna do is raid Kabachi. There we go. Tomorrow is Celestia, so a late night for me. Monday, we should be finishing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We're very close to the end. I may not actually get every ability. I think I might just push on and finish the game next stream. But we will do some side stuff. Yeah, I need to prep at least a little bit. Then we'll have a big fight, which hopefully I can win. And, yeah, after that, I'm gonna be playing a few games next week. Hopefully I won't get sick again and miss one of my days. Some Pathfinder definitely next week. Some other stuff too. We definitely have Persona 3. But, yeah, look forward to Monday's schedule. So, have fun, take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.